Yo, what's up, YouTube? We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Y'all know the routine. What's that? We're going to be live this week talking about cold calling. We missed last week. Before we get started, you know what it is. We got to find out where everybody's from. So drop your city and your state in the chats, and let's get to a minimum of 150 people in here before we get started. Can you give me anything in here or no? Where is everybody from? Let me pull up chat real quick. All right, so we got Texas in the house, Detroit 313, Raleigh, Charlotte, Jacksonville. Yeah, we got people from all over. I like this. Chattanooga, Tennessee, Springfield, Oakland, Florida. Winston Salem in the house, Trey 4, Phoenix, New Jersey, DR, Charlotte, Miami. Though that's crazy. How you know all those places at once? Now I see what you're doing. Mobile, Alabama, Omaha, Nebraska. We back. What up, Keith? Florida, Detroit's in the house. One step at a time, Mr. Skyline. We'll get to land entitlements one day. DeAndre, I'm good, man. Shout out from Syracuse. Owens Mills, Maryland. Memphis is in the house. Philadelphia, Atlanta, Alabama, Missouri, DMV. What's up, George? Hey, so today we got a special guest, but y'all know what we got to do before we bring this special guest on. We need to get the likes up, share this video. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Because today we're going to be talking about something that everybody is kind of like fearful of. Like a lot of people are afraid of one thing when it comes to the real estate business, and that's like cold calling. Like people hate it, but I'm telling you right now, every single deal you ever do will end up on a phone call. I mean, it's just facts. It's just going to happen. And so I thought no better than to bring my guy on who is known for cold calling. I remember back in the days, my guy before like this whole thing was popular, like this YouTube thing, he would go on a Facebook Live and he would cold call live. He would mute the audience so y'all could hear him, but you couldn't hear, and he would call live. And I think he did it like every week for a long, long time. And so he's been doing this for a minute. I believe he's been in the game 10, 12, 13. Like he's been in the game for a minute, closed over 800 deals. Do y'all know what that is? Add that up. 800 deals. Yo, Davin said the right thing. It's 100 plus people watching and 18 likes. If y'all don't get these, how hard is it? Or how much does it cost to hit the like button? Hit the like button for me, please. Davin said y'all don't really F with me like that. If y'all ain't hitting what's wrong with y'all? Hit the like button for me, please, before we get started. If how many people watching, that's how many like buttons we need. Punch that like button for me, and we're gonna bring in the king himself, Beaumont, Texas, in the house. What's up, Kenneth? Yo, Davin, how many likes we got on the video? Run up the likes. Run up the likes. Yeah. Tell me how many likes we got. Y'all need to talk to me nice.
50 likes.
Give me some more likes, please, please, please. We're not going to start I'm stopping at 8, and we're not gonna start until y'all give me some more likes. The reason is we gotta hit this. We gotta hit this YouTube algorithm. I didn't know we could like it live. Yeah, hit that like for me. Hit that like for me. Somebody says, is Sheba gonna hit 1 cent? I don't know. Is Sheba gonna hit 1 cent? Who knows?
A lot of speculation says yes.
Somebody says, it's funny how free is the new obligation. Pretty insane the value you get for free from Max. And he's has effing Elijah Rubin on today. You see what I'm saying? That's my guy that knows the value. Get my likes up, please. Get my likes up. We're almost there. We had 74 likes. Somebody say, I don't even know where the like button at. Tila, tell them again. Hit that like button. Remember, I do this for y'all every week just because I love y'all. Y'all been most of y'all been rocking with me back from like 2016, 17. I love that. Y'all been around here for a minute. The YouTube channel is growing. I'm trying to get to 300,000 subs by the end of the year. Rob Turner said, what's up, Max? Been studying wholesaling for about 2-3 months. Got his first contract today. Congratulations, y'all. That's what we want to do. That's the whole reason we doing this. It's enough out here for everybody. All right, we at 82 likes. I need 100. Who's going to hit that like button? Somebody said, get out the comment section and you'll see the like button. Jenny's on here. What's up, Jenny? Somebody said, I really can't wait till it hits 1 cent. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Let's do that. Let's do it. Charlotte's in the house. Hit that like ASAP. We getting close. We ain't there yet, but I know y'all can do it. Just got a like from you. I see that, David. Appreciate y'all. Y'all, you know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for this new studio for y'all to get into. I got a new studio being built behind the house that I just finished building. Hopefully be in there by January. This new studio is going to be fire. I can't wait to be dropping equipment in there. We're about to spend a little over 100 to get it done. As far as like just new equipment, new build out. The building's already up. Appreciate you, Chris. You just got started. Let's get you that first contract by the end of the year. It's easy. A lot of y'all, some of y'all have been here. Y'all just been rocking with me over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months. Yo, let me tell you something. Let me give you a word of advice. Go back to my old videos. Go back to my old videos, right? Get on YouTube, go back to the old videos and watch from the old videos to the new videos. You'll get a lot of context to when I was coming up, when I was building that office, all of that. And you'll get to understand how I came from nothing to the point where we are now. We still got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. All right, we got 94 likes. I just need 6 more. Somebody says, I just quit my job today for this. I hope you have some gems for me today. Listen, remember, I didn't tell you to quit your job. Right? Max is not going to pick up the bills, but you can do this. And so you got to go out there and get it. So if you just quit your job today, that means tomorrow you have nothing to do. Tonight, you have nothing to do. So when we get off this live tonight, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to my YouTube channel, watch the old videos, start from the old ones down. You need to be watching about 7 hours worth of content tonight. You need to go to bed tonight with your eyes red. One more like. We need one more like. What's the price to go on real estate? Around 20? Nah, man, you don't need no 20,000. That's what we here for. We're going to show you how to do it. RNG legend, we're going to show you how to do that, legend. It says contacting my first 100 properties tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about, Fernandez. All right, we in there. So listen, today we're going to talk about cold calling. We're going to focus on cold calling because it is something that everybody fears in this business. I don't know why people are so afraid of it because it's like talking to people, but at the same time, I understand. When you don't have the confidence that you need, when you don't have the tools you think you have, when you think you need, you get nervous. But remember, cold calling is like just talking to somebody. So let me stop talking and let me bring on my guy, the legend from out in Phoenix. Most of y'all know him for doing like fire damage, which we can get into that. But my man is an excellent closer. He's actually doing an event. He did one last year, and I was a judge at it. He's doing this event this year called the Closer Olympics. It's a real dope event. We'll talk about it short before we get off. But welcome my guy to the stream, Elijah Rubin from Phoenix, Arizona. Elijah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Peace King? How you doing, Max?
I'm good, man. Thanks for coming on today, bro. Because I feel like we were just gonna do fire. Hey, do you remember when you used to do those Facebook videos every single?
Yo,
How often did you do that?
yo, you take me back. So that's probably like 3, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Jenny. I can't act like I came up with this great idea to start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny's like, Elijah, I'm hearing you call all these people day after day. You have a gift. You should go live. So we got a water bottle, the Dasani water bottle, and we had an iPhone and some hip hop instrumentals. That's it.
And you
No, no,
you just
no
went at it.
program, no plans. So I did those calls every day on Wednesdays and Mondays and Wednesdays. I did 100 episodes over a year.
2 times a
You
week.
know, two
And I
times a
remember
week.
that's
I'm in,
why
you know,
that's
I'm
why I
in
first
Hawaii.
discovered you.
Really?
Yeah, that's why
That's
I
dope.
first remembered you was from those videos. And I'd be like, yo, this dude is literally going live and giving away the game. And I think at that point in time, a lot of what you see now on YouTube and social media was not out there, right? You remember that,
hmm
right?
Yeah, this was before anybody was doing online, putting themselves out there. My attorney's like, "What are you doing? You're like, what? Like, are you asking people? Letting people know that you're calling them, recording them?" So it's cool though.
That's cool, man. So welcome to the Maxwell Show. This is a show that we do live every week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. All my peoples are in here. I know you come to drop some gems. Let me start off by just asking this. Why do you think it's so hard for people to overcome the fear of cold calling? What do you think the biggest fear after all these years, after 800 deals? What do you think the big thing is?
And you know what? And it's funny because we just did like this like little 5-day challenge, and so I got to go back to the roots and start talking to
Mm-hmm.
people. This consistent closing challenge, and I was talking to a lot of people and really got into the essence of it. What I really think stops a lot of people from picking up the phone is their fear of rejection. They associate rejection with pain. And that pain reminds them of the time that they were lacking, they failed, they didn't get that one job promotion, the girlfriend dumped them, the high school football team got cut from. And so they associate all that past pain
Mm-hmm.
into that one phone call. It reminds them that, hey, I may get rejected. And that leaves them literally paralyzed. And I think that's the main reason most people fear cold calling.
So let's just be honest. Like, there are two things that I believe are the fastest and most efficient way to getting your first deal and all your deals thereafter that. Number one is driving for dollars. I talk about that all the time.
For
And if
sure.
you don't have a Driving for Dollars app, make sure you go into the App Store, whether you're on Android or Google, and type in REIRail. Download the driving app, right? And so driving for dollars is key because one, you learn your community, you get to drive around, you get to see what's a good property, what's a bad property, and you learn your market. Number two is even after you find one of those properties, you still got to get on the phone and make that phone call, right? So let's talk about some of the top common mistakes people make within the first 10 seconds of being on the phone. I'll put you on the spot. But before you answer this question, if you guys have ever watched any of my videos, if you guys have watched any of my content, one thing I do not do is prep what I'm gonna talk about. Other than I have a topic, I don't prep who I'm bringing on as a podcast guest, as a live guest. So these questions are off the rim. I do not prep my people because I only bring the real G's on here. So answer that question for me.
Sure. And so I think, a couple things that most people do right off the rip when they get on the phone. Well, first, they bring the closer's baggage with them. The
Okay.
closer baggage is always past calls. So I'm a big believer. I'm a big proponent in doing affirmations. I actually created pre-call affirmations before you get on the call.
Okay.
I'm going to rechannel my energy, remind myself that I'm successful. This is my job. It's my God-given right to help these people close these deals, sell and be sold. So I do my pre-call affirmation, where I see very few people do.
Mm-hmm.
Then once they get on the phone, they start off by asking, "Hey, is this Mr. Maxwell? Hey, is this Mrs. James?" The only person who's asking for that is someone who don't know me.
Tell them
Okay, so
again, bro,
that's a
because that's my number one thing. Is like, because so let's break that down, right? And so the number one thing is just saying, when people get on the phone, they ask for the person that they're calling. Now, I don't like that. What I do is I pretend like it's the person I'm already calling. And the reason why is because you're going to get the same answer regardless, right? So if I call your phone and I say, "Hey, may I speak to Elijah? Hey, is this Elijah?" What's the first thing you realize when I say that?
You don't know if it's my voice or not, so you don't know me. You're probably a
Correct.
sales call.
So you're going to put up a guard right away, right? But if I call you and I say, "Hey, what's up, Elijah? It's Max. Hey, Elijah, it's Max." What you going to think?
Oh, is this a homie? Who is this? Right?
Yeah. So you're going to feel kind of obligated to understand who that person is. And so you may carry the conversation a little bit further until you find out who that person is. So what's number 2 for you?
Yeah. And then, like I said, what you want to do, you don't want to get lost so much talking about yourself. I see a lot of people, so I'm a real estate company, and I specialize in buying 5 properties a week, and we're looking for properties in your neighborhood. You don't want to go there. You don't want to do that. Now, you do want to let them know who you are. Hey, I'm a real estate investor. I'm following up. I'm interested in buying your property, or I'm looking in the neighborhood, and I'm really interested in picking up one more property. I don't know if it's yours. My neighbor, my partner was about to pick up another property. I told him not to buy them because I want to pick up yours, but you're probably not interested in selling, are you? You know, and
And so
so
break that down.
I
Break that
want to
down.
do. Sure. So I want to give a couple different options. So I want them to let them know that I'm here. I'm interested in buying the property. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And then I want to let them know that, hey, you're probably not even interested in selling, are you? By me going what's called negative, that's going to allow me, I'm saying what they may say to me. And if they say that, and I'm taking the bullet out of the gun before they say it to me,
Mm-hmm.
what that does, that takes your window shutting, it opens up the window saying, well, I didn't say that. Well, maybe I would be interested in selling. Or if they say, no, I'm not interested in selling, then you have the opportunity to say something back to them, to open up the door, open up that window a little further, saying something like, well, if you were open to selling it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would you need to make it a win-win situation for you?
Got it.
And now, because now you're not taking that first no. I'm looking for the no,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm calling it out up front.
So let's break that down. Let's do a little quick call. So
Sure.
you gonna call me real quick. Ring, ring, ring.
All right. Ring, ring. Hey, how's it going, Max?
How's it going? Who's this?
Max, this is Elijah here. How's it going?
I'm doing well. I
What I
can't remember.
catch you doing over there?
I'm just in my car on lunch break.
A lunch break. Well, hey, I'm gonna keep it quickly because I have another property I'm looking at. It's in the area. I'm really interested in buying your property, Max. But tell me, you're probably not interested in selling it, are you?
Well, it depends. I mean, I have 3 of them. Which property are you talking about?
Well, you know your property on 344 West Main Street, that property there?
Got it. So now let's break down what you just talked about. You just said you identified. You asked me who. You didn't ask me my name. You made an assumption,
Yep.
and so that assumption makes the same is the same as asking if this person is who you think you calling. And then what did you do on the second part?
In the second part, I asked you, what did I catch you doing? Now, and if you're willing to do now, it takes a little bit of confidence to do that because some people, it could go left. It could go left. All right. Some people
Yeah.
are not open for that. But because he told me what he's in his car, on his lunch break, it is an immediate instant rapport building. It's like immediate friendship now because only somebody who's open to telling you what they're doing, you immediately start building a deeper bond right off the rip.
Got it. Okay. And so what is for you? What is your number 3 thing? Like what your
My
top 3
number three
things?
thing All right, so the top three things. So I spend too much time talking about all the I buy 9 properties and we're going
Mm-hmm.
to don't want to do that. Get right to the point so people know if they want to stay in the call or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want as fast. So the first point, start with their name. Make sound like you want to, like you said, Max. I want it to feel like I'm a long lost high school friend.
Got it.
All right,
Okay.
who is that? You got who is it? Elijah. So I want that because now your window just opened up.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the second thing is, like I said, I don't want to take it long. I want to say, hey, what I catch you doing? I want to build some rapport, some connectability, and extend that lifetime open, as
Mm-hmm.
well as let me know what I'm here for doing. And then I want to set the table. All right. When I say set the table, I want to let them know what I'm here to do, what we're going to do, and that, hey, it's okay if you don't do business because I'm never coming off too needy. All right. Because you don't want to come off as, when you're talking to girls, you don't want to be too thirsty. When you're talking to investors, you don't want to be too thirsty. So I would say something like, so Max, hey, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about the property, see if it's a good fit. If it's a good fit, we could possibly move forward together. If not, we could always part as friends. I have a couple relationships. I could always point you in the right direction. Sound fair enough? And
Yeah,
and
sounds
and
pretty
that's
good.
what I'm moving forward.
Yeah.
Great.
So but
Go ahead.
before we continue, these main things makes when you can do these three main things in the call within the first 30 to 60 seconds, it makes cold calling a lot less invasive. It makes you feel like, because
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing is you're getting to that answer pretty quickly. One thing that I see um, a lot of people spend time on the phone with somebody who's just totally not interested, and you're just
Mm-hmm.
you're wasting your time. It's a numbers game, and so you got to really be cautious with finding out and get to the point that if this person is even interested in selling their property. Let me answer a quick question. So Kimberly was wondering if you can still assign properties in North Carolina. Yes, you can absolutely assign properties in North Carolina, and then whatever YouTuber that you're following, unfollow them, unsubscribe, because they don't know what they're talking about. There's only one state that came down with Illinois, and as of next Monday, Oklahoma. But if you go watch one of my videos where I interviewed a closing attorney from Oklahoma, he told you how to go around it. Don't worry about the laws, in the sense that every time a law comes in, there's some type of way you can go around that law in an ethical way. And so don't worry about that. Every business you ever going to get into is going to have changing laws. Regulations are going to change, training's going to change, and you just adapt to it. You're going to adapt to it as an entrepreneur. So don't ever worry about that. So let's get back to the topic. And so most people are just truly afraid of having a conversation and calling a stranger because they're not sure how to have that conversation. I think we've all grown
Sure.
up. We've all been in lines at the grocery store, lines wherever they are in school, whether it's high school, whether it's college, all these places. We never have this fear of speaking to somebody. So we shouldn't have this fear when we're doing this now. So just relax, understand some simple principles, and keep going, man. And keep going. And
Yeah.
what's some tips? I know you got a bag of tips and topics you want to talk about tonight. What you want to talk
Sure.
about?
Sure. So no, man, like I said, I mean, I'm definitely passionate about it because I just seen how, how just being able to close more effectively, close more confidently, close more consistently allows you to create the freedom, because all the marketing, all the list stacking, all the driving for dollars means nothing if you don't close it. It means you're going back to work for somebody else if you don't get this down. So by you taking real pride in developing your closing skills, it's going to allow you to create a life for your family and your future. So some things you're able to do, like I said, I talked about the pre-call affirmations, really big. All right, do those. Another thing you're able to do to really help you overcome that fear is role play. All right. I'm really big on role playing because, all right, and you guys write this one down. All right. Because I tell people all the time, I live by it. How you role play determines how your role pays. All right. So
Ooh,
the more you role play, all right. So how you role play determines how your role pays. And so
okay.
what happens is, as you role play, I said what I just told Max hundreds of thousands of times, like literally not like 2 or 3 thousand, hundreds of thousands of times. All right. And so because I've done it, it's natural. I can say it at a whims. And so when I'm talking to different people, do I need to speed up my talk? Do I need to slow down my talk? I'm trying it all different type of styles. I play around with it. I go in my James McCarl voice. Listen here, darling. I want to talk to you about that down house there, darling. I
Mm-hmm.
play with it. Have a good time with it. When you start enjoying the process and you're repeating the same words, the same sequence, it's going to be very natural for you. So when you are on a call, you're not guessing, you're not fumbling around, and then the anxiety that you're feeling dissipates. And then you start
Mm-hmm.
executing and you get in pocket, and then you start closing deals and it feels good. So that's one thing I think. So pre-call affirmations, role play, and then have a sequence, have a simple steps of the sell you follow. I know Max has a lot of knowledge out there. Myself, I put out a lot of good information there. Real Estate Diddy has a great acquisition course he has out there.
Yep.
A lot of people at the Close Olympics, you're going to hear our sequence. And because we've done the sequence so many different times, it's so easy. It's so easy for us to do it. And I want you to know that we all were horrible too. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where you might be at, if you're closing your first deal, you might be struggling to close that first deal, or you might be crushing it. We can always get better, and it's never too late to start fresh.
Yeah, so let's talk about that Closer Olympics and like how you came up with that idea. Y'all came up with the idea last year, and then kind of like what it's about, right? Because it sounds like Closer Olympics. What are we talking about?
Sure. No, shout to Keith Everett, Real Estate Diddy. He actually hit me up. He like Elijah. We should do him, Chris Jefferson, a couple of guys did this cold calling challenge, and he's like Elijah. We need to find out who the best closers are. You've
Mm-hmm.
been closing this game for what 17 years. We've seen you do the cold calling. Let's find a way to find out who is the best closer in the game. Just because you close a lot of deals or you make a lot of money doesn't mean you're the best closer. You might have good marketing, you might have good leads, you might have a genius on your camp like Vince over there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know who's the best closer in the game? So we
Mm-hmm.
came up with this concept of Closer Olympics, where we're going to take 12 of the best closers in the country, and this
Okay.
is the only real estate athletic event that you can really compete and really see who's who does what. And we end up having we like, you know what? We're going to take three of the dopest judges who actively close deals themselves, not used to close deals, but actively close deals. And then we're gonna have these judges rate each closer like a boxing match. So you get so many points for building rapport, so many points for over identifying pain, overcoming objection, creating urgency, getting verbal agreements, getting signed contracts. And then whoever gets the most cumulative points move on to the next round. And then we're like, you know what? Let's kick it up a notch. Let's have everybody watch it live, send in their leads, and then the closers could close their leads so they could pay money, learn, and earn at the same time. And we just want to do something just to highlight the art of closing, because this is a skill set. Like Steph Curry hitting a 3-pointer and watching the ball go through the net, splash. That's when you hear a good closer say something undeniable. Like, man, if I said that, that would have worked. It's undeniable. So that's how we came up with the concept of Close the Olympics.
So this contest you're having is 12 of the best closers in the country, and then they're going to compete against each other just for bragging rights for the next year, right?
Yeah, you want to see who's going to be king closer. Don't get me wrong. They get some bread out of it.
Okay.
And their brand's booming. And some of the other closers who have courses and programs, they're not selling no more courses, all right? It's not going to work out too well.
So the person that wins this gets bragging rights for the entire rest of the year. Now this is done live, and this is over a course of a couple days, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it's usually last year we did 2 days. This year we're doing 3 days
Okay.
because we wanted to open up, because a lot of people talked a lot of stuff like, oh, I would have said this, I would have said that. So we wanted to open it up and let people who maybe nobody knows about be in an open run tryouts, and that's what's gonna be on day one. 6 people maybe nobody knows about, but might be dope closers, might
Mm-hmm.
be acquisition reps for other people. They're gonna be able to compete and put their name in the hat to see if they could be. We'll take 2 people from day one, and they're going to be in with the rest of the closers, have that Rudy story happen.
Okay, I like that. And so, Closer Olympics, when is it happening?
So closersolympics.com, you guys could go and get your tickets. It's going to be November 5th, 6th, and 7th. So we're less than 2 weeks away. It's coming down, and like I said, the 5th, it starts at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. PST. We're starting early because last year we started a little late.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the closers got the worst of leads. People weren't answering calls. I ain't gonna say who got done dirty, but his name rhymes with Diddy.
So check this out.
We're gonna help him out.
Somebody had a question about your pre-call affirmations. Is this something you give out? Where can they find this stuff at?
Yes, if you guys just go to my Instagram and DM me affirmations, just DM me affirmations. I'm going to give you my pre-call affirmations,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll also give you my ebook, Mastering the Art of the No. Give you some techniques on how to overcome no's, because I feel like that's one of the hardest parts. Once you get the affirmations and you're ready to go, when you get hit with that first no, people just kind of fall back, and it's hard for them to bounce back, overcome multiple no's. So that's my free gift to all my Maxwell family. I'll go ahead, just DM me, just say affirmation, DM me affirmation, and I'll send you my pre-call affirmations.
Perfect. So you get your affirmations, and what that does before you get on the phone and start making cold calls, it puts you in the right mind frame, the mindset, so that you're able to handle your successes, the rejections, everything. It just gives you confidence so you can go out there and do the thing. Let's continue talking about like the skill set. With you closing over 800 deals, you have obviously, and you training a lot of people. What are some of the characteristics you have found in somebody who is a consistent closer or good salesperson?
Ooh, that's really good, because I feel like I do believe there are some natural born good closers, but I believe anybody can become a good closer. I think this is a skill set that, like I said, that you could just master your craft. You could hone on your craft. You could practice day in, day out, and get really good at it. And so I think one of a couple of good elements, characteristics to be a good closer, I think being resilient, right? Because you have to be willing to take rejection. If you cannot take rejection, and if you get told no one time, or you get hung up and cursed at one time, you got to go outside, take a break, smoke 9 cigarettes just to get back on the call, it just ain't for you. They ain't going to work, all right? So we have to have some resilience to you. I think you have to be resourceful, meaning that, hey, I'm willing to go ahead and learn from Max. So I'm willing to learn on my own. I'm willing to learn, talk with 9, 10-year-olds, seeing how they put up rejections against you. And then I think you have to be able to improv. I think your improv skills, your ability to connect and say things, hop in and out of business and personal. I think you can take improv classes. You can watch David Chappelle, great comedians, and just take little pieces of that. So being resilient, being resourceful, and having some improv skills are just three of some of the characteristics I think it takes for you to be a good closer.
Got it. And I say this thing that when you're asking questions, when you're talking to a seller, there's 2 types of questions. There's a question for you that you benefit from, and there's a question that they benefit from. And so what I mean by that is you have questions that you're asking to find out information. And that can simply be, bedroom, bathrooms, how long have you had it? Is it rented? What's the rent? Like those type of things, updated kitchen. And then you have questions that you ask them to keep them in reality, right? And so I like to separate these questions along the way of a conversation that I get to somebody that wants to talk to me, right? And so one of my favorite questions is, hey, look, if you were to update this house, right? If you were to update this house and bring it to 2021 standards, HGTV, what would you do to the kitchen? Right? And they're going to tell you. All right, cool. Then you talk about something else. All right, so what would you do with the bathroom? Like what things, like if you were me and you were buying this house, what would you do to make the bathroom like 2021? And you're asking these questions for a reality check for them, right? And then as you see, they say, hey, what do you think that would cost? Right? Cool. Talk about something else. Start building rapport. Come back to another room. Hey, living room, what would you do? What would you do? And so as you're writing these things down, their answers, about a couple minutes later in the conversation, you're going to say, all right, so we were talking about repairs and stuff. And this is before you ask what type of repairs, are needed. You ask what they would do. Put them in your shoes as an investor, right? And say something like, okay, Elijah, if you were me and like you were going to buy this house, tell me some things that you would do to it. Like, get it back to 2021 standards. Like, what would you do to the kitchen? Like if you were me? And this is a friendly question. And you're asking this question, they're going to give you an answer. So, I mean, what about the bathroom? You think it's big enough to put like double vanities or what? What do you think? Yeah, I would do double vanities, throw granite in there. I mean, what do you think granite costs these days? Okay, cool. What kind of budget would you put in there? And once you get those answers later on in the conversation, you said, okay, so you said you would do this, this, and this. That's about $60,000 in repairs. You think that's about right? About $60,000 in repairs? Yeah, I think it's about 60. Okay, so, you know, with $60,000 in repairs, and how much did you say? Did you want it for the now? Keep in mind, he never said what he wanted for the property. How much did you say you wanted for the property again? He never told you. This is what now you're pushing him. So that questions you were asking to keep him in reality, question for him and not for you, is simply for him to draw back to what he just said. There were $60,000 in repairs, right? So when he throws that number out, then you say, okay, so you want 160, and you're saying 60 in repairs. So that would put me here, you know, and then you reverse engineer it, right? And say, and so that's kind of, it's this thing. It's this thing that just keeps going and going and going. And you have to learn how to have a conversation and have two types of questions, one for you to gain information and one for them to gain some information.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I do something similar like that. And that's why I call it your closer's gumbo. All right. And so you can take things from Max, you take things from me, Pace, all of us, Chris, you can throw all those in and just make your own sauce that you can feed your family with. And we call it, I use a similar technique, but I like how you did that. I like how you jumped in and out from questions back and forth, because I really like blending business and personal back and forth.
Correct.
Because it keeps them, they don't know where you're going with it. I really like that. One technique I call it your repair reimbursement credit. So how I do a similar technique like that, I say, because I want to try to lock them in, because sometimes they get unrealistic with them. Oh no, I got a piece of granite countertop in the back, and my uncle could cut the slab. No, that's not happening. So what I like to say is like, all right, so if I was able to say I gave you a $45,000 Home Depot card, Home Depot, tell me, what would you fix up first? What would you do with it? What would you do with the bathroom? So, I will try to lock them into that. Now, if they don't challenge me, oh, I wouldn't spend that $45,000. It'd only be $25,000. It'd only be $10,000. I'll put into that. Then, if they don't challenge on me, then I'm gonna say, hey, well, I'm gonna use that same Home Depot card to do the same type of repairs you're gonna do to it once we get down to the number. But I like splitting it up how you kind of did that right there. So I'm going to add it. You might see it on the Close Olympics. I might be using that technique, Max.
You got to be using it, man.
Sure.
I think you love that technique. And one thing I like about sales and just sales in general, there's not one technique that works all the time. And like Elijah said, you can learn from so many different like true closers and true salespeople, and just understand the charisma and the way that they move, the mannerisms. And once you study enough of that, you're just going to be you're going to get good at it. But the only true way to really get good at being comfortable on the phone and talking to people in sales is doing it over and over again. In this business, in sales in general, failure is your best friend, because you're going to take notes as to what didn't work this time, right? And there's different personalities, right? There's different personalities when you talk to people, and I'm sure you guys be going over that sometime in the Closer Olympics, and you're going to get to see it. You're going to get that guy that what we call a red guy, right? I first learned this from like, let me see, the first person that broke it down to me, articulated it well to me, was Sean Terry. And so when you got the red guy, you got the guy that just no BS, no building rapport, wants to get straight to the numbers. What do you want? What's your number?
What's your offer?
You tell me a number. You called me, right? And so you got to learn how to deal with that person. And there's a blue, if I'm not mistaken. There's a green, right? And so that's when you start learning these personalities. And psychologists have they study these people. They know what these people do. And so you just understand that. And once you do it enough, you start to build your own characteristics and build your own flow and way of doing things.
Yeah. Let me just touch on that, because I think one thing is to understand it, and with absolutely, and the more reps you get in, the better you're gonna get. But I'm a real big believer in having a closer's journal. All right, we call it a closer's journal. So what you have, and most people are like, listen, Most minorities, we ain't journaling at all to begin with, all right? But we're gonna change that, all right? All right. So we're gonna change that. I want you to have your closer's journal. Why should you have your closer's journal, Elijah? Well, the reason why you should have that is first, you're gonna write down those hard personalities that are hard for you to deal with, those high reds, those high Ds, the analytical ones. Let me think about it, pray about it, light a candle before I get back to you. And so that's what's gonna be part of it. So you're gonna write down those hard personality types. Then you're gonna write down those hard objections. That's hard for you to deal with. I don't know how to overcome this. You're gonna write it down. Then you're gonna hear dope rebuttals from Max, from myself, from CJ, Close Olympics. You're gonna hear all these dope rebuttals. You're gonna write those down. Then you're gonna try some of them. Some of them gonna work. Some of them aren't gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't work, and you haven't closed that deal, and you're feeling down, you start having that closer's bag, that negative self-talk. I'm not good at this. It's too hard. Is real estate illegal? You know, you can start having all these negative self-talk. You're gonna start writing down in a journal, and it's two things gonna happen that you do that. The first thing that's going to happen is you're getting all that negative energy out of you. Taking all that closer baggage, you're getting out of you, and you're putting it in the right place in the journal where it should be. And then the second thing, by the time you start evolving, you be on your acquisition reps, your dispo people, they're going to be able to see that you went through the same journey, you had the same difficulties, the same mindset that they had, and that you went through the whole journey, and you're not asking them to do anything they haven't done. And now you have all those best rebuttals that they get to leverage from. And now they're not starting from square one. They get to leverage all the information you captured. That's why you want to use those closers journal. When you start that today, y'all, make sure you guys use that closers journal for sure.
I love that. Yeah, you definitely got to start jotting down things. And I have something coming out where you can actually just do that. It's going to be something that for salespeople that you're just going to be able to do that. And so we'll keep going, but we got about 10 minutes left in this. And what I want to do is kind of switch over a little bit and do a little bit of Q&A and just
Sure.
answer some questions from the audience and see what we got. I think a first question comes from my guy, Trey. Let's see what he says here. He says, hypothetically, how could someone be successful who's not a good closer? What other values could someone bring to the table?
I think, like I said, I think very few people are just came out the womb dope closers. All right. So I think that's something everybody can develop. However, from my club promotion years, and I think Max had a similar start as himself, always add value first. When I'm on the call, and you guys going to hear on the Close Olympics, you even watch last year's Close Olympics, I am not here to make an offer. I'm here to make a relationship. And because I'm going into it, hey, all my relationships, how can I add value first? So is there a podcast I can refer them to? Is there a travel agent I can refer them to? A good restaurant I could refer them to? What can I do to add value to them first, regardless if I buy the property or not? So if OfferPad mess ups, if Zillow mess ups, if Max messes up in this market, they're going to call me because I'm the person who attempted to add a value without asking for anything in return. Always try to add value first. And as you continue to add value, your closing skills will catch up.
Trey, one of my answer to that question is, starting a business. I used to think that you always had to start a business by yourself. And some people, that's just the way it has to go. I think starting a business by yourself is overrated. So one, if you can find somebody that has the opposite skill set of you, you guys can complement each other on this journey. If you don't have that luxury, you're going to have to get good enough so that you can train somebody else to do that task that you're not good at. Is it impossible to do it and not know how? And it will be almost impossible to bring somebody on and train them yourself if you don't have that skill. But you can always outsource. Already deals with wholesalers. They're going to have paperwork that they like dealing with. If not, you can go to my Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses Elite. It's 100% free. It's 120,000 people in there. You can rummage through the file section and download one of those contracts. You can also go to maxmaxwell.com and you can go to the resource tab and download my free contracts there. There's so many different ways to do it. But I know you came here because we got the knowledge, but you also have to be one of those self-motivators. I seen that question typed up like 8 times in all bold print. Sometimes you got to go out there and you got to do a little bit of research yourself to get enough information so that you know if you're getting a BS answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What other questions do we got? All right. So Davin says, how often do you use LOIs to close? I have a commitment from a seller with 13 properties on seller financing. He wants to underwrite the deal. He wants to underwrite, I guess that's the deal. LOIs are important.
Yeah. I don't mind LOIs. However, like I said, I don't want to get stuck in, friend zone, right? I don't want to stuck in like, yeah, I'm going to talk to you. I'm getting a lot of LOIs from other people. So I want to make sure if I'm putting time invested that I have a mental commitment. All right. So I do use LOI, especially when I'm dealing with bigger projects,
Mm-hmm.
apartment complexes, portfolio deals. I will use a LOI. And one thing I do like to use that, and hopefully, and you all feel free to use this, I've closed easily over $100 million worth of transactions using this exact close right here. It's my testimonial close. So it goes like this. So, all right, Mr. Seller. All right, Davin. So assuming that I underwrite these, I'll send you an LOI. We sign off on them. I underwrite all 13 properties. We get a number that works for you. We get a number that works for me. We come back. We sign a purchase contract. We open escrow. I communicate through the whole process. We inspect all the properties. We finalize. We close escrow. 30 days after escrow is completely done and everything's done, one thing I'm going to ask for in return, and this is the only non-negotiable item. So you got to pause, make it feel like, what is it? All right. 30 days after you received all the cash, money's wired in your account, everything's done. I did exactly what I said I'm going to do. The one thing I'm going to ask for you is I can receive a recommendation testimonial letter from you saying that you're pleased with the results I provided you and that you refer other people to me for the future. Is that something you're prepared and willing to do for me? You are? All right, great. I don't want any convenient amnesia because I am going to ask you about this. Are you sure you're going to do that for me? Now, I got them committed to me. We ain't even agreed on price yet. So if
Mm-hmm.
I do this work, I'm coming back talking about the testimonial, not only about the contract. That's what I do before I issue any LOIs.
I like that. Let's go to the next question. Z, the CEO, says, I've been able to close 100K in deals this year. Congratulations for that, Z. But I'm ready to delegate calling to a VA. What is the best and most effective way to train your VA, and how long before you put them on the phones? So I'll give my answer real quick. So Z, congratulations on your success this year. And I would love to hear more about your story and how you got to that point so far. And maybe we can bring you on to the show one day. So here's what I like to do. Z, since you've been closing deals, what I tell people when they first start is you need to be recording these phone calls, right? You need to be documenting your process along the way. And so so people ask me what was my number one mistake that I think I would go back and fix. It was just more documentation and more training. And so the reason why you do this is when you bring somebody on, you can easily show them and let them listen to calls for a week or two and put them through training with you or role playing with you until you feel like they're comfortable enough. VAs, you are going to have some distant type of learning curve. It's going to be a little bit difficult, especially if they're fresh. And so you should also look at hiring somebody local to you that you could say, hey, look, this is straight commission. Here goes the tools. You can learn how to do this. And then once you do that, you're going to be good and go. What do you think about that, Elijah?
Yeah, I mean, that's on point. And I got just something else I mentioned to it. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to my guy, Chris Ronzio, Mr. Traniel himself, right?
Oh,
He
yeah.
put me onto this, and it's do it, document it, delegate it. Do it yourself, document it, then you delegate it. And like you said, so once you do it yourself, have Loom videos, have how to set up the dollar, how to make sure you have the lead set up, then make sure you have a very strict role playing process. And then after you have that role playing process, then what you want to do, have a rating system. Have a rating system. I lost like literally $150,000 one year because I had no processes. I didn't document anything. And I really put myself in a hard position because I didn't know when my cold callers were failing my leads. I kept blaming the leads versus blaming my processes. So do it, document it, delegate it. Then, like I said, have some type of role playing process, and then make sure you have some quality rating score Just like, hey, are they staying on the calls? Are they answering all the questions? And if the numbers aren't showing what the numbers are, be willing to cut it because it's going to cut in your bottom line if you don't.
Got it. Let's go to another question. Let's says deal real estate investor. It says, I work 12 hours a day on Zoom calls. Is calling in the evening or the weekends worth it? What do you think to that?
And listen, I'm a big fan of calling on definitely on the weekends. I'm a big fan of calling on at night. All right. You have to ask yourself, the only reason why you're only gonna call during the daytime is if you're calling people who are, seniors at home, but you want to talk to as many people as you can. This is a contact sport and a timing sport. So you might be asking, well, if I call at night, if I call on a weekend, I could possibly be a little pushy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with possibly being pushy, or are you okay with actually being broke? You have to determine what you want.
I like that. I like that a lot. For the people that talk about, the hours of the day that they work, and I guarantee you're not working all those hours that you can be calling. So if you want something bad enough, there's nothing in your way that's going to stop you. So you just got to figure it out. If you make an excuse, it's going to be valid. I just decided not to be broke no more. I decided that I wanted to go out and change my future, and I wanted to change my family tree. Shout out to my guy, Adrian, rest in peace. So that is where I decided to want to change my family tree, and that's exactly what I did. So you got to go out there and do what you got to do. Chris had a question. I'm not going to put it up there. He just says, how do I get started? Chris, what I would recommend you, welcome to the channel, man. Please subscribe. Please do that. Here's two things I want from you. Subscribe to my channel, watch the old videos first, and then join my Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses Elite. It's 100% free. It's 120,000 members in there, and so many questions that you have will be answered right in there. But do me a favor, subscribe and watch the old videos, Chris. So Elijah, it's 8 o'clock. We're about to wrap up here. Here's the thing, guys. Closer Olympics is going to be a cool event. It's live on, you're going to get a stream link. If you're having any problems with learning how to cold call, this is going to be the event for you. And it's not your typical event where somebody stands on stage and they talk. That's not what this is. It's actually called the Closer Olympics, where 12 of the best known closers in the country are going to be competing for the championship bragging rights and who's the best closer for the whole year. There's also going to be 2 other unknown people that have competed from the bottom up that are going to be thrown into the Shark Tank with the well-known closers. And we may get a winner from somebody that we've never known. Somebody has 0 followers on Instagram, 0 followers on YouTube that you don't know, that's working in somebody's acquisitions office, that's working in their mom's basement, that may get the title as the best closer for a whole year. If you're watching this video, there's a link in the bio. You can click on that link. Sorry, not in the bio, in the description, and go there. Go there, get a ticket. Elijah, what is it, like $100?
Yeah, $97. Like I said, Close Olympics, and then you get the VIP $297. Get last year's replay and this year's replay coming up too, and that's where the value keep watching this over and over again. And that's something we didn't realize. Last year we had people, the whole acquisition teams was watching this. They had whole teams. I mean, having watch parties watching it, and then you get to see, can your favorite guru, can they close? Can they give insightful? And like so, somebody's going to be going home with the pride hurting. Somebody's going to be holding the King Closers belt. And we want to make sure that you guys are there. ClosersOlympics.com. Like I said, it's in the description. And for everybody, Friday, 4 p.m. PST on the Closers Olympics Facebook group, we're going to be going live. We're going to be doing an actual press conference. Mac's going to be there. Brent's going to be there. Pace. All the judges are going to be there. And we're going to be picking the actual matchups. All right, what closers are going to go against which closers. Last year, the press conference was crazy. Watch for the smack talk in the beginning, because every one of us think we're winning. Every one of us think we're winning, right?
It's a fun event. At the end of the day, it's a real fun event. People get to learn, and it's 3 days of just virtual learning from some of the best, and not just somebody standing for stage. Like I said before, like you're actually going to listen to people cold call for 3 days straight, and some of the best closers in the country. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Shout out to my dog back there, Bentley, just hanging out. But seriously, man, Elijah, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody that's still here on the stream, I love you. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next week. Elijah, where can people find you? Oh, he already threw it up right there. That's his Instagram. That's his Instagram right there.
Yep. Hit me, Elijah Rubin. Like I said, if you guys want my affirmations, just like I said, DM me affirmations. If you want to submit your leads, some of you guys want to submit your leads, go to closeolympics.com. There's going to be a button to submit your leads so that the closers will call your leads and you guys will split the deal with the closers. Earn while you learn. 3 days of pure sales mastery. Max, thank you for being a go-giver. You believed in your boy last year, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people in your position wouldn't just, on a whim, you know what I'm saying, just like, all right, I'll be a judge, and we use up way too much of your time. You're like, yo, I ain't doing this for 24 hours a day. So we switched it up. We have three judges each day, so it's going to be a lot less. You're judging the finals again. You, Pace, and Brent Daniels are judging the finals, and we kept it to 1 day this time for you.
But it's fire because I had the whole college scoreboard where we went from possession to what. I mean, when we show up good. But once again, man, I appreciate your time. I can't wait to see you this weekend on the press conference. Everybody out there, don't forget to subscribe. I love y'all. See you next week. We out.
Salute.